this is Mark Hubbard, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Hey guys, this is Patricia Johnson, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Let's go.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who you with?
Sir Walter Jones.
One more again.
Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show with co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in which we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk. It's Fireside Friday. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and be encouraged in the Lord.
Friday.
Unchain my heart, baby, let me be. Unchain my heart, cause you don't care about me. You got me sort of like a pillowcase, but you let my love go to waste. So unchain my heart, oh please set me free. Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some fella tells me that you're not at home. So unchain my heart, oh please set me free.
Hello everybody, so welcome to the Sir Walter Jones Show. I am he. It's Friday, Fireside Friday. Yeah, we're here in the Chicagoland area, just so excited because Friday is the time we sit around the mic and talk about current events, things that's going on in your life. And the Sir Walter Jones Show have had a very interesting week this week. My goodness. Monday we talked about the bondage of pornography. Why do men watch pornography? And I'm telling you, it was an exciting 2 hours. And what we did was we delved into the rawness of what it is. And I know we like to lay hands on each other and then cast devils out of each other. That's fine. But a lot of times, Monday through Saturday, you find out if the devil was really, well, if he ever left or not. Just follow him home. And you'll see, because some of the stash that they said that they were going to throw out on Sunday while you was laying. Hey, where my music go? You're supposed to keep playing. Brittany's so hard-headed. What's wrong with her today? She usually do pretty good. Let Ray sing to me. Yeah. And the reason why I'm playing Ray Charles is because I want you guys to if you never watched the movie Ray, watch it. Because if you ever want to know anything about the dangers of soul ties, watch that movie. It was released October 29, 2004. This song here is a song written by Bobby Sharp, though, and recorded in 1961 by Ray Charles, and in 1963 by Trina Lopez, and later by many others. But Sharp was a drug addict at the time and sold the song to Teddy Powell for $50. Those of you in the music industry know the history of how bad it was for us. But Powell demanded half the songwriting credit. Sharp later successfully fought for the rights to his song, and in 1987 he was also able to renew the copyright for his publishing company, B Sharp Music. And our show on Wednesdays we do is a music business show. And we talk about the music business, the music industries, how to get your royalties, how to negotiate contracts, and dealing with the ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and all that good stuff. And Pennal Johnson will be joining us soon. He's a jazz bassist and a Kojic boy as well. This look like it's going to be a Kojic reunion today. Matter of fact, he just walked in the door. We put him right here, get him a nice little plush seat. So we got Pennal Johnson, and then, my goodness, we got Patricia Shaw here. And I'm going to talk about Patricia Shaw in a minute here. But there is a book that we want to highlight today, because today's topic is soul ties, Unchain My Heart. Now you see why I played the song. Yeah. And by the end of the day, hopefully you'll be, hey, Brittany, go to A. By the end of the show, hopefully this will be your song. Yes, sir. Hit the road, Jack. don't you come back here no more. You know good and well you don't belong in my life. You are a bad seed, and all the things that we've done together, yeah, I just shake it off, and I am not returning back to my vomit. That's it, right there.
So you're going to go ahead and accomplish what so many have failed on Sunday.
So many have failed to do. So we're going to go through this book, and I'm telling you, it is an exciting book. It is short and sweet.
Oh, that's good.
Unlike some of those sermons that I hear on Sunday morning. All right, Brittany, cut that off. Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and read the bio here. This is, she's been causing problems on Facebook so far. And, yeah, she might have been raised in my house. Because this child right here, Patricia Shaw is the elect lady of New Hope Church of God in Christ, where her husband, Elder Michael Shaw, he's in the building.
Woo-hoo.
So is the pastor.
Elect
lady is the founder and president of Women of Excellence Outright Ministries, a ministry focused on healing hurting women from the inside out through the power of God's love. And this is great because there's another women's association that we have chimed in with. We have coupled our talents and gifts here on the show with, and that's Women of Wisdom with Carol Lumpkin. And I love these women groups because a lot of times we are called from our show to join them on the panel and talk about issues and relationships, to hear from men who are very transparent. But the Women of Excellence Outreach Ministry is committed to the growth and empowerment of women of all ages, providing training and teaching on transforming transformation techniques to shift mindsets to thinking positively. She teaches women of all ages to conquer their fears. You see, this is why I needed her here. Accomplish their goals and possess their land. Okay? CAP. It's a trademark, y'all. Her transformation strategy stirs the soul and equips the mind. And you can go to Women of Excellence .biz if you want more information. But I have a book here called The Soul Ties, Unchain My Heart. Patricia Shaw, how are you, my friend?
I am blessed. I'm glad to be here in the city of Chicago with you, Mr. Sir Walter Jones, and I thank God for being able to be on the station. I'm just excited.
We're excited, too, to see you, to come into our wonderful city. You've been here before.
Yes.
And so you're definitely no stranger to this great city. And Facebook is chiming in. And they really going at it already. And if you guys are having any problems with the app or with the website, trust me, our Spreaker account will be up tonight, and you'll be able to hear the rebroadcast. And it's much cleaner, of course,
and unedited.
And unedited. Well, it is edited. We edit out the noise.
Even though they say it's unedited, you know it is.
Yeah. So, and I like the rebroadcast on Spreaker because we've got a few thousand hits on that. You know, for those, because it's 4:00 in the Chicagoland area, and a lot of people at work.
Yeah, and it's warm.
And it's warm.
So
outside.
If they're not at work, they're outside.
Mm-hmm. And so what they do is they leave work and come home, and they turn on Spreaker, and then they hear the show. And then how do I know? Because I get the statistics come to my phone.
So you know for sure they went home.
I know they did.
I mean, they can download anywhere.
Absolutely. So we have to figure that out. And Brittany, when you get an opportunity, just go upstairs.
I've been checking your numbers. Yeah, you're
what's
right.
his name, and see if we can fix that app situation going on. Patricia Shaw, why did you write this book?
I wrote this book because I work daily with so many women who are in hurting situations, so many women that have been married 3, 4, and 5 times, and they don't understand why they cannot break free from a past relationship. So God sat me down and inspired me to write this book.
Wow. And indeed, you wrote it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to read the table of contents in a minute just to get you an idea of the journey from beginning to end. It's a great journey because this is actually part 1. There's a part 2 coming. Oh, yeah. And you've heard what we played Miles Monroe last week about how he says if the graveyard has robbed many of us, because he says if you're going to die empty. That means you have nothing else to give. And I love it. And this is what she's doing here. And we also have Pennal Johnson on the air. Pennal, how you doing, man?
I am so blessed and humbled on today.
Man, I'm so glad to see you. Pennal's been on the show a few times, and he is an amazing bassist. Kojic boy.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And these are three worlds coming together, okay? Me, an ordained elder, musician, and you got Patricia Shaw, the author, and some of the other things that she may share today, and then you got Pennal Johnson, the bassist from the jazz world. Okay, just an amazing world that we are living today, and what Pennal does.
That word, man.
What? Which word?
You know the word I love.
I don't know.
Plethora.
Plethora. Yeah.
Well, he didn't use it. He usually throws it in this particular spot.
Which one of y'all knocking? Is that you? That might be you because you extended. Let's see. Push it. I know I'm your arm. It might be your arm. I don't know. One of y'all's arms. You can you're short. Now can you push it this way? That'd be nice.
No, I can't make it. I'm all the way back here.
All this knocking going on. I can't take it. Okay, see, the knocking must have went away. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
and you a carpenter. Yeah.
That was an electrical issue.
And Pennal Johnson, matter of fact, go to, hey, Britt, go to B. Okay, Pennal Johnson actually is releasing his new project out. It's called the Sissy Strut. Yes, sir. Yeah. That's Pennal right there, man. Yeah. Now, you a trumpeter. While you're hugging people, you a trumpet player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you understand this here.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite jazz trumpeter?
Clark Terry.
Clark Terry?
Yep.
Okay. Who's your favorite jazz bassist?
Oh, favorite jazz bassist would be Victor Wooten.
Victor Wooten. Who will be yours, Pennal Johnson, other than yourself?
I like Billy Dickens.
Really?
Marcus Miller.
Oh God!
But the one that I look at as a total package is Nathan East.
Yeah,
he's a total package to me.
Absolutely, because he actually writes screen. He writes the soundtracks to some movies. I've read some of his bio. Him and Marcus Miller. Actually.
Yeah. Oh, Marcus is great too.
Yeah.
He and Victor work together a lot too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
those are all great players, and they have like their various styles. But it's like it's really a God-given gift to put out there, and they it's amazing what they can do.
Yeah, and have you ever gigged with Victor?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna say
one day.
If you see him, man, tell him to do something about that dread over he got going. The brother getting a hole in his fro. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all silly. Okay, Brett, you can fade that out. Listen, Pennal, I got you here because we want to talk about this soul tie situation, okay? And you kind of know a little bit about this, all right? And this book here that we have here, and again, and before the show's out, we're going to tell you where you can order it because again, it's short and it's sweet. It's not 300 pages, y'all. Okay, unlike some of our novels here. By the time you get to page 110, she's about done. She's just talking about the author by that time.
Well, that's great.
That's it.
Good and to the point.
Yeah, and the chapters are only a couple pages a piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's something you can read in one night and you're done. But watch this, okay? She gives you the introduction. All right, and then she gives you the encounter, and it talks about the encounter from when this woman meets this man, or vice versa. All right.
Okay.
And then she goes to the kiss of death. And now, those of you listening to this, y'all can hear your life as I read this table of contents because it's in order. All right. Here goes the kiss, that first kiss of death. Then she got one called When Death Came. Okay. Then the side chick. Okay. And then the ties that bind.
Wow.
Okay. Then revival fire, because she talked about how she come from that Pentecostal world. Eric's dramatic return. This is Eric. He comes back into her life. The scandal in a small town. Then the proposal. Then our wedding day. And deja vu in the Windy City. That's here, Chicago. Then the rubber band effect. Then a clarion call. And then When Death Comes, which is a sequel to the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, This book came to my house last night. Actually, I woke up this morning. I said, let me fool with it just a little bit. Okay.
Peruse.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now you could probably see some hair follicles in here because I was at the barber seat. I was in the barber shop, just thumbing through, and I said, "OMG!" And what I started seeing some of my past life in here. Okay. Now I'm on both sides.
Okay.
All right. I'm on her side and I'm on his side, meaning I was the guy who perpetrated the "I'm after you" and let me take my time. Now watch how she explains how this guy spent weeks or months with this woman. Yes. He didn't throw himself hard, or he wasn't talking about them the first week or the first couple of nights. We need to have sex. We need to have it now, or else I'm out. No, he took his time and he wined and dined it. Okay, and then finally, after he realized it was time, and after her body or her mind realized here it is, he went in for the kill. It just, those of you listening out there, you're saying to yourself, "Oh my God, that's how it happened to me." And this is how typical soul ties usually come about. So help us out here, Sister Shaw, the encounter. Okay, what I'm going to do is, let me go here. In fact, page 6 for those of you who got the book. Her first paragraph says, "How did I get here? Why can't I shake this man? He treats me like less than a person, but I keep going back to him. Those are the words I repeated in my head for the course of our relationship. What started as a childlike love affair ended as a tumultuous tornado." Help us out here. What's going on?
Okay, what's going on is she's reflecting on the relationship. And when I talk about soul ties, I talk about a woman who grew up in a Pentecostal background, whose mother was a missionary, not allowing her to really do anything. And so she was at this game and she met this man, and he looked at her, and the way he looked at her, the encounter, it was lust that took over her mind, and that was the encounter that I will speak about in the next book. But that is the encounter that I'm speaking of. It was lust that caught her attention.
So there he's in the room and she sees him, okay, and then she is captivated by what she sees in him, okay, and then he sees her, and he also sees the beauty,
right,
okay, and then how even the phone number came about, because I think he asked her for the phone number, and she was saying to herself, "I can't believe I'm doing this," right, and then she's passing over the number, and then she goes home, and she's thinking about him. And she wakes up the next morning wondering when he's going to call. Yes. Okay, is this all familiar to people in the world today? I mean,
this is so familiar. I have I'm on social media, and I have a women's ministry on Facebook, and it's over 13,000 women, and I talk about soul ties and how the enemy, he comes to distract us, but he does it through our soul. And many people think that the act of sex is only physical, but it is not. Right. When it's a soul connection, you connect with your soul, your mind, your will, your emotions. Our emotions get entangled. So that's how we, when I was saying she couldn't get him out of her mind, because our mind is part of our soul.
That's right. That's right. Can you identify with that, Pennal Johnson, as far as from a male perspective?
What I was thinking about as you all were talking, like a soul tie, how a person, whether female or male, physically you don't have to indulge sexually with a person, but if you can intrigue them intellectually and present to them an image or a form or a template of something different and exotic, it's like you got them. Yeah. And you don't have to really say much or do. It's just you have to give them an inkling that I'm interested in you. And some people got it like that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then, when I was thinking about soul ties, it's just like, I know from a man's point of view, if you're raised to keep your word and to finish what you started, and a lot of times when you're gone through the whole process of the introduction and everything that was said in it and contents. It's like you're involved in it, but it's like one side of you does want to get untangled from this destructive entanglement, but one side of you is like, if I let this go, I feel like a failure because I'm not accustomed to quitting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
From a man's point of view.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's what a lot of brothers go through that go into a divorce. We have a friend now that's in that particular stage.
And that happened to me.
I converse with him on times like, dude, I say, I understand where you're coming from, but you have to also understand that having been divorced myself, I told him, I was like, there's a part of you that don't want to let go because to let go means you have failed.
Right.
And see, for something as important as this, that have you been brought up to believe, this is the pinnacle of life, in essence. The man being able to hold his family together, his wife together, the whole nine. If you drop the ball on that, then really, what good are you?
Exactly. And that whole mindset is really an illusion.
That's true.
And it's like you're really not stepping back. Actually, you've made that person your God because you're not able to physically and mentally to step back and look at the real bigger picture and know that this is a cancer in my life, and I have an option to let it go. But because not only a lot of times just because of the sexual ties, I understand biblically that like when you have intercourse with a person, you have sex with them, you are like it's some type of soul tie that connects. It's like you're forever connected. But that mental aspect of it is that how would people perceive me? How would I perceive myself? And yet that is what I thought when I was listening, because, and I can only imagine from a woman's point of view. And this is not to knock any women, but it's like, if I'm viewing my wife as the weaker part of me, then I'm thinking that from, if you got like a dude that's smelling good, that looks good, that's on top of his game as far as his physical stuff that he has around him, but his intent is purely like the enemy, the devil, to steal, kill, rob, all that type of stuff. He's trying to steal your innermost joy. And once he has that in his hands, and if a person is not put in a position to see the light and they awaken and step out of that, then they'll forever be there, because if they don't have anybody around them or a church or friends or family that can say, hey, even in that, you can still have people around you, but if the person themselves is not in an environment or a position to say, okay, I understand. Yeah. I need to walk away from this. So this is deep. I mean, yeah. And this topic goes beyond just a person to person relationship, but like how your life view is of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you think this is what's going on with this young lady as far as being captivated and captured, because there was no sex yet?
Right. It was, she was captivated by his presence.
Yeah.
I give the picture of him, I describe him as really the perfect man. He has just everything about him was alluring. And so I really described him for the women, to get them to know that most of the time when we look at a man, it is the physical that we're looking at. We're not looking at the spirit part of them. We're looking at the physical aspect.
I agree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
All this time they've been telling us men are the ones that are visual, that we're lower than dirt because we looking at how long her hair is, how short her hair is, how round her eyes are.
Okay.
How round her eyes are. Well, on Tuesday we did a show called "The Things That Women Find Attractive in Men." Okay. And Tina Steele took us, really, as men, through an educational journey because she began to explain to us some of the things that men don't even think about. All right, I got this thing about me that I'm very careful. how I talk, how I walk, how everything else. And then when you're not thinking and conscious of all that stuff, she is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so I'm just sitting there doing whatever she says. She'll either say, I find that sexy. I find that. I'm like, that to men, that's nothing, or that's stupid.
Well, see, that's buying into what Hallmark has said is sexy versus the other thing in the scope of the play. I have a cousin. When he was younger, he was ugly.
Sure.
He's old now, so ugly don't matter. But anyway, and he said, I know I'm not good looking, but he carries himself as though he is something and somebody. And when he opens his mouth, he makes sure he has something of value to say.
Yep, and that's what she was saying about the women, is that it is not so much about how beautiful he looks on the outward appearance. It's really how he makes her feel.
So,
yeah,
in essence, the soul tie doesn't necessarily have to start in a physical nature, because a lot of players will tell you, if you do her mind, you have her.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, those guys who do the mind, they are very crappy when it comes to the body.
And let's make a disclaimer here, Doc Shaw, is
points and views and opinions of Art Lewis.
How Eric, now what's the woman's name? Did we give her a name? Teresa. How Teresa and Eric met is not really a big problem, because I know some marriages that turned out perfect because they met the same way. So we're not trying to destroy the fact that y'all see each other across the room, and then a phone number comes across, and then the phone call comes, and then again, I think that's how my bishop and wife met 60 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So we're not killing that aspect, not at all. There's some people who met online, and they turned out to have a great family. That's okay, but when we get into the body of this work, then we'll start seeing some of the problems, because and they did the right thing. They didn't have sex for a while. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have sex for a while.
Right.
Okay, so they did the right thing of waiting, but what his intent was different than what her intent was.
That's true.
Yeah. And then we go into chapter 2. The kiss of death.
Yes.
Okay, now read this first paragraph here, because we got about 2 minutes before break. For 6 months, we were inseparable. Like a wishbone. We were connected at the hip. Every weekend, he would drive to Macomb. Now, that's Georgia, right? Macomb. Okay.
Illinois.
Okay, that's what my daughter's in school there. Yeah. Hello, Rebecca. And we talked, laughed, and enjoyed one another's company. How long did I think this would last? A relationship with no sex. She says, who was I fooling myself? I continued allowing him to whisper in my left ear and hold my shoulders. He clever. As he knew I was a good girl. But at what point would he tempt me, or had the temptation already started? See, good question. Was he leading me slowly and carefully to a planned death? Now, that's the perfect way to start this chapter off. Yes. And the fact that she asked herself these questions.
When you have to ask yourself that question, you already know the answer.
Your mind gives you an answer, okay? Yeah. Now, we'll go to this break here, because we're about to go real deep in here, man. We're going like China Deep, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Like China Deep. Okay, and I know some of you out there are having problems with the app. That ain't nothing but Satan. Okay? But Satan don't realize I have a plan B.
Okay.
All right? Yeah. Because when they go up on Spreaker, and a plan C, because it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be Spreaker, it's going to be on Facebook, it's going to be Tumblr.
MySpace.
That too, believe it or not. Do you realize there's still a few million people that's on MySpace still today?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I ain't worried about the live feed, not at all. We're going to, Pennal Johnson, there's this song called Sound Check F.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and start that, Britt, as we're going to this break. Now, you did you call it Sound Check F, but it's not even an F.
Right. The F means funk.
Yeah.
And I actually came up with this song.
Play it down, Britt.
I actually came up with this song in actually a church sound check. That's why I called it that. And I was just playing around and came up with this that. And it made it into a song.
Yeah, I'm loving it. See, now right here, he goes to A flat, F sharp, F, then C sharp, B. A flat, F sharp, F, C sharp, B. That's the whole groove right there. Okay, and if you're a musician, especially African American. You know, A flat is a great key, by the way. But listen to the bridge in this song. It's my favorite part because you go from the A flat to the A sharp to the B. It's just beautiful, just perfectly written.
You done got Mike out of his seat over there.
Yeah. It's great stuff. I'll be right back. We're gonna play just a couple minutes of it. All right, Sir Walter Jones Show.
There's nothing quite like them on television. The Bradfords, not your typical family of 8 children.
I don't wear nightgowns anymore, Daddy.
They'll make you laugh 1 minute.
I forgot to kiss you goodnight.
And cry the next. Just like your own family. 8 is enough right after Happy Days in Laverne and Shirley.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Okay, I was going to do this right, okay? Hey, this is Tyrone Block, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
You're now listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
What's your name?
I'm Lamar Lennox.
Oh, I don't know.
Sound check F, y'all. Pennal Johnson. Man, great funky thing going on here. We got Patricia Shaw here, who was a Hammond man in here. He was in here grooving. He was grooving. And the lead guitarist is also here from the group. Man, I'm just excited that. And again, I've gone to his concerts, and believe it or not, Pennal Johnson, with all those people in there of different race, cultures, and creeds, and what have you, he'll cry. He will say the name of Jesus in a second, okay? And he'll sit there, and Pennal Johnson will sit there and do a sermonette at a jazz concert. And I'm sitting there like, this is my man right here. Who does that? And nobody walks out. Matter of fact, folk coming in.
Okay, other than Prince.
Other than Prince, right.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I love it because what he's doing, he stays true to who he really is, who he is. He loves God, you know, and he's a musician too. And I think what the problem is that I'm finding what a lot of Christians is, we're stuck on Sunday morning. Matter of fact, some of y'all churches, you have to lock your doors because depending on what neighborhood you're in, all right? And then Monday through Saturday, the neighborhood don't see you.
Man, they wouldn't have to lock their doors if they had Deacon Rod and Brother Staff standing.
The neighborhood do not see y'all. They don't know who you are, and that's why the scripture says, he that desires the office of a bishop desires a good thing. And then it says he's known not only within, but he's known without. Right. That means they know. So, okay, see what I'm saying? So they know who I am. Wherever I go, I walk in the restaurants and grocery stores. They say,
Norm.
Right, Norm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, we're in our Holy Convocation. Bishop Blake was in town last night. Those of you who are my coaching friends who are listening, you know, had a room full of elders and pastors and what have you, you know. And sometimes I talk to them and I say, what you doing throughout the week? You know what they say? Nothing.
Wow.
Not much.
Yeah, I knew where that
just
was going.
Just chilling.
Like our boy in New York, he said there's not like 9 churches on this block or street or something, and the only one they know is him because he's the only one to come out.
Yeah, they not doing nothing. But this Patricia Shaw, this child right here,
everybody gonna know
she
her.
putting her pen where her mouth is, right on a piece of paper. So in walked the kiss of death. Okay, I just read that. Okay, so the kiss came months later. Okay, it's amazing how hard is that to wait on a. I understand the sex thing, waiting and having, trying to have the ability, but kissing, it took them that long. Why?
Well, earlier in the book, I described the perfect church girl.
Okay.
Someone who grew up in the home of a missionary, which I did. And it took that long because she was showing him respect, how to respect her, and he was respecting her. One thing I pointed out in the book, how he said, I talked to some people about you on campus, and they said that you had a small circle. It was so small that it could be considered a triangle.
Wow.
And so she didn't talk to many people because of how she grew up. And so she was showing him really respect by teaching him how to wait on her because she was worth it.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? So it was working on both of them.
Yes.
She was showing him, but then also he was showing her something, though. Because I think you use the word Alvin. Not Alvin. What's your name today?
Art.
Okay, because he's got different names. He was showing her.
Baptist.
He was kind of showing her a pimptitude.
Yeah.
Because they're very patient because they know how. I watch this guy, and you have to hit the beep button whenever you watch any of his stuff. That's Cat Williams.
Oh,
you have to hit the beat button. You know, you have to be very careful.
Lay on it sometimes.
But he was sitting there. He was talking to one of his stand-ups, and he was talking about how when women come to his house, they love coming to his house because he know exactly what they like. From the cologne, from the food in the refrigerator to the TV to the colors. He says, "I know." He says, "A pimp know." And I said to myself, "Now that'll preach right there."
Yep.
Yeah. A man know if he really wants her, he'll be patient enough and wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months.
He will wait a year.
As long as it takes, because
to the point to where she's begging for it.
Absolutely. And I think this is what's going on here in your writing here. You clever.
Thank you. That's
goodness.
the Holy Ghost.
I see it all in you, girl.
Thank you.
Man, but this kiss of death, okay? So the first kiss came.
Yes.
It affected her greatly. How did it affect her?
It affected her so much till when you were talking earlier, she noticed the crease in his jeans.
Wow.
And that was even before the kiss came. The kiss, it affected her till she, at this point, couldn't get him out of her mind. She had started going to sleep thinking about him.
Yes. You see, so it worked on her psychological aspect.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, those of you who are into kissing before marriage, there's a debate on whether you can or not, okay? All right. So, those of you, I don't have a problem with it. You see what I'm saying?
Bust that slob, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Bust the slob, saints.
Y'all can be all snaky if you want to, but I'm going to kiss, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so far, I don't see so much of a problem here just yet, okay? Looking from the outside in, I don't see the problem. See, I already know the end of the story.
Okay.
But if I didn't know the end of the story, I wouldn't see a problem here.
Right.
Dun,
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So the first kiss came. Now, was it in this chapter where he finally got her to lay in his bed? Let me see. You had a few... I think it was in this one because it was kind of subtle. It's just my birthday weekend had come. Okay, his words, "I love you." I love you. We played a clip from the movie with Martin Lawrence and what's her name?
Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield.
Lynn Whitfield. What love? Not what love? Thin Line. Yeah, that one. Well, all right, Brittany, calm down. Okay.
She said that with passion.
Yeah. Now, Shaw, we played this file called A Thin Line, all right, where he comes over to the house, or she comes over, I can't remember which one, and they're sitting on the couch, and he's kissing her, and she's like, not now, no, the usual. And then she asks him a question, do you love me? And he says, you know, okay. And then she says, no, actually, she did like what Jesus did, Peter. Yeah, but I think she waited to the last. She asked him three things. It was the last thing she said, "Do you love me?" That's it. And when she said, "Do you love me?" he hesitated. And you this long pause.
Right
now. Panel, help me out with this.
That was an unplayer move.
Okay, but help me out because something was going on in both of their minds. Okay, this is apropos to this book here.
Okay,
she asked him, "Do you like me?" In a sense, let's just imagine. And he said, "Yeah, you know, I like, girl."
Like a
okay,
fat kid, little chocolate cake.
Then she'll say, "Do you like my hair?" Oh, your hair is the bomb. And he still kissing her. He's kissing her. Then she says, "Ask him, do you love me?" And then he stops cold, and there's a pause. Now he's thinking, Pennal, what do you think is going on in his mind? Why did he pause?
He probably was never really asked that.
Yeah.
And she probably caught him off guard.
She did. Absolutely. I think so. Yeah.
Because he was caught up.
Yep. He was caught up. He's trying to get into the draws. Right. All right? And he's trying to work fast to get in there. Okay. When she said that, he realized I'm trapped.
Yes.
Okay, because she warned him, be careful. If you tell me this, then we're falling in this thing together, and it's going to be hard for me to come out. And he remembers this. So when she asked him that, he's like, so it was about almost a whole minute pause, and then he finally said, you know I love you. Okay? And then she let him have it.
Right.
All of her. Okay? And you fast forward, she keying his car. Okay? And later on in the movie.
Or
the windows in your car.
Or he could have been playing her too.
Well, yeah, he didn't mean he loved her.
No, I'm talking about the pause.
Oh, yeah.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't playing her. He was caught. That was a straight up. If I do it, I get a whipping.
Yeah, he was caught between a rock and a hard place. There was the angel here on the left shoulder. Yeah,
the only reason I said that because that can be a tactic too.
Oh yeah, that is. But in this particular instance,
you're right.
Right, I got you.
That brother was like, he was in quicksand. He was like, the lifeline is right here.
Right, yes. and Shaw. So
thinking
what
about tomorrow?
Right, thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
That's right. Let's eat, drink, and have married. So tomorrow we die.
Him saying "I love you" got him the underwear removed.
Right.
Wow. In this situation here, okay, what he said to her, Eric, okay, got her in bed.
Right.
All right. Now she's captivated. In walked the next chapter called "When Death Came." Okay, now death is this is when you start seeing, okay, I'm not liking this relationship. Says, as the weeks rolled by, there was not a weekend we didn't spend in bed. My soul was fully chained to his. He was my Adam, and I was his rib. Okay, now she's taking what's spiritual meaning to her. Because if you ask him what it means, he would not bring up anything biblical. No. He probably say, you my Beyonce to my... Right. Yeah. Okay, so then it says, when we went out to dinner, he no longer asked if I mind that he smoked. That's right. I remember he's a smoker.
Right.
Okay.
And a drinker.
And he used to ask her, is it okay?
Right.
He ain't asking no more.
No.
Why do you think he's not asking?
Because he feels that he's now in control of the relationship, where she was in control.
Ooh-wee. So he smoked, and I would kiss. Now watch this. He smoked, I would kiss him, and I began to like the taste of smoke on his tongue. We were becoming one. I was dying, but I had no idea how fast. When he would call, our conversations used to be about his job and my studies, but they slowly became centered around sex. And before I knew it, I was doing things I said I'd never do without a second thought. I was addicted to him like a drug addict. I had to have it. Okay, let's pause. Now she went from saying, no, we can't do this, till I have to have it. So that is in synonymous to a drug, right?
Yes, it is.
And that's how it starts?
Yes.
So you got here you said it here, like a crack addict. I kept going. He was all I could think of. He made love to me like a fitted glove. I had died inside with my eyes fully open. I was untapped territory, and he pushed all the right buttons. I died inside, but I never recognized that when death came, I signed my name with blood-stained sheets, and I was never the same. That's crazy.
Yes.
Actually, man, I'm reminded of this scene from the movie Dangerous Liaisons. Everyone else remember the remake, whatever it was with Cruel Intention, right?
She's
yeah, it sucked. Anyway, but John Malkovich is sitting and he's contemplating seducing Michelle Pfeiffer. And Glenn Close is like, well, that's very passe and this, that, and other. She's a virtuous woman. Say, yes, I want her. And I want her while she still holds on to her convictions. He going into the whole thing. I want her to know that it's wrong and still do it anyway. And this is sounding like the type of individual that this guy was. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his own machinations and everything. And by the end of the movie, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But he had Michelle Pfeiffer and he had Uma Thurman going at the same time. But he was going to breaking down and saying she was young, she didn't know anything. Of course she's going to be curious. And he exploited those particular aspects of her as well.
Yeah. But now, do you think that man, Eric, was looking at her at any point in this time with a moral mind, saying, you know what, I really shouldn't be doing this. There's something that I'm messing up here. You think there's any iota of him thinking, maybe I need to get this thing right?
It was a glimpse of it when he paused.
You talking about
going back when he paused, when she asked him if he loved her. I think that was an inkling there.
Yeah, no, we talking. That's the movie. But
I'm talking about this right here.
No, that pause thing that was in the movie. Yeah,
okay,
that wasn't in the book. But Eric.
No.
Yeah, right. Good night, everybody. No.
Thank you.
No. Yeah. So from
Pelvis has left the building.
From beginning to end, he knew what he wanted. Pretty much. That makes a lot of sense to me. And you see that, right?
Oh, yeah, man. Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On is full of it.
And that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of patience, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a lot of patience. But watch this, though. He was patient because there was someone else there. It wasn't just her.
Right.
I'm telling you, a man ain't going to go that long without having his way with her unless there was someone else. All right? In walks the next chapter. The side chick.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, all right. Now Tuesday we're doing a show called "The Aspects of the Side Chick" because she has ways about herself. All right, we're bringing in I think Rochelle Matheny and Tina will be back, and so I think this show we're gonna have to borrow from this book here because there's some interesting things happen here.
Source.
Come on, we got a source. We got a textbook. We be going out of our heads on our show. But watch this. It says in the fall of 1990. All right, art was probably about 56 around that time. She says my senior year of college, I needed to buckle down as my grades were slipping, just as my soul had slipped into sin, or as my grandmother used to say, Satan's den. It was the week of midterms, and I hadn't seen Eric in months. I told him I needed to get back to my studies, and he said he'd understood. When my exams were over, I decided to catch the train to Chicago to pay my lover a visit. After my last midterm on Friday, I bought a ticket and headed to Chicago. I was excited to be going to visit him, and I knew he would be surprised. Big mistake. Big mistake. Why is that a big mistake on her part to surprise this man after having seen him so many months?
After they've been seeing each other 4 months and then now just cold turkey and just pop up. Yeah, that's a formula to get your feelings hurt.
What you think so, Pennal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if they hadn't been communicating in between that time. Even if they had been, I mean, this dude's intentions, he had women. Like when this one wouldn't, the other one would until this one do, and it was kind of like probably a cycle with different women.
Yeah, but
we're just talking about her story right now.
She doesn't know that, so she's going in there,
honey.
Yeah, she grins.
So what happens here, Sis Shaw?
You're right. She doesn't know these things because of her background, how she was brought up. There was communication, phone communication, but the sex had gone.
Had gone.
Yes.
Yeah. So she walks in, she knocks on the door, he answers it and like, what are you doing here?
Yes,
okay.
He's very surprised.
Yeah. And then the woman that's in the room with him, she gathers her stuff and she comes to the door and says, I thought you was done with this chick, in a sense. Now she's looking on the other side like, oh my God.
Yes.
Then reality hits.
Yes, that she is the side chick.
So see, now did you hear that? Now, this woman in the book is the side chick, not the woman that Eric is with in this bedroom. Okay, so she realized I'm the side chick.
Yes.
How was that? Why would you say that she? What's her name again?
Teresa.
Why would you say Teresa's the side chick and not this girl she busted him with?
I said that she was the side chick because had he had true feelings for her, this would have never happened. And see, something that I don't know if you all noticed, but I was setting it up at the beginning because how he was really putting his arms and things on her, that was actually erotic.
Okay.
To women.
Yes.
So that's why there was no kissing, because he was doing things to make her want him. And so when she showed up at his apartment, she realized, okay, I'm the side chick.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you
but the other ladies goes and like, I thought you were done with her. That doesn't sound like what would come from the main squeeze. It would be like, Harpo, who that woman is. That would be the main babe, as versus that sounds like another side chick, or
that's exactly
right. Okay, one of the harem.
It could be.
Like oh, her again. What you still playing with the little girl?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That. Okay. And this is very
Baptist.
interesting.
I know some people.
Sure. It's interesting. So what she does is in the book, she asks. So the girl that he's with, he tells her, "Give me a minute. Let me deal with this." And so the girl puts her clothes on and she leaves.
Right.
And so now he's talking to her, Teresa.
Correct.
And they're having a conversation about it. And she's like, "How could you? How dare you?" The usual. All right. And then I think he asked her because she's in town. Come stay with me. Right. And she says, I ain't sleeping here. You ugly, matter of fact. Okay, now she results to insult.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But is that insult an outward thing to say? It's a defense thing?
Yes. To hide her pain, she started with the insult.
You ugly, you this, you that.
Yes.
But there's that tie still there, though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And then she says, take me to a hotel. I'm gonna sleep. I'm not sleeping here tonight.
Right.
Okay, and then I think he does that, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I'm mad at you, but drive me someplace.
To a hotel.
Yeah, right. So just like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one to take you to, too.
Wow. You see what I'm saying?
All right, yeah. They have the horizontal, anyway.
Yeah, this is a crazy show today. I don't know what's going on.
Why is everybody looking at me like that?
This is a crazy show. Yeah, and y'all read some crazy novels out there, okay? And the Christians, we get involved in everything, okay? That's why our show is based off of everything dealing with Christians, okay? Because we have same problems that the world have, same problems. We have financial problems, we have relationship problems, okay?
But in the church, it's always some kind of spirit.
The
light goes out, it's the spirit of darkness.
The spirit.
Anyway.
Everything is spirit. Out the Baptist, you were so right. Okay, and yesterday
just change the light bulb.
Sure, absolutely. and the Apostle Paul said it's not first natural, then spirit. Okay, and it's easy again. There are a whole lot of Christian shows out there where you can turn on right here in Chicago. It's usually AM. Okay, all right, and you can hear somebody behind the mic. Okay, now, and we did a hooping show last 2 weeks ago. It was our biggest show. It was our biggest show, the hooping show. We had a couple thousand hits on that show. Okay, huge. I love hooping. All right, Monday through Saturday though, out in the street, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear you talk. Because again, I go out in the street. Sometimes I'll talk to some of my denominational people. I say, "How you doing?" Hi, somebody. No, I asked you how you doing. Can you say I'm doing fine? Do you have to speak in tongues right now? We in the grocery store. Okay, say hello.
Security's
you see what I'm saying?
Get you.
And that's why the world is like, y'all crazy.
Exactly.
Y'all are crazy. Something's wrong with y'all, and y'all can't even talk to us. I have a lot of atheists who are my Facebook friends. They love me.
Okay.
But they also know that I love God.
Yes.
All right? And they think I'm a fanatic, but they say there's something about you, though, that we're attracted to, man. We don't understand it. Okay? And you know what? I show them love.
Yes.
But I also say, you keep doing what you're doing. You know you're going to hell.
Yes.
They're like, well, why we don't believe in your hell. I said, I just have to tell you that.
Right.
Okay, now let's go have a sandwich. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we go have a sandwich, have a great time.
Actually, what he does is he pimp them because he turns around and tells them the truth and then laugh, and they go like, "Oh, that Walter guy."
Yeah, right. Okay, because they say they say to me, they always say, "Who was that?" Gandhi says, "I like that Christ, but I don't like his Christians."
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what they say to me. They say, "Your Christ he's cool because I can see him in you." Says, but them other Christians, we don't like them because they just don't know how to talk to us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
Yeah. And you've dealt with some of the wildest stuff with women. Okay, you told me. Stuff you was telling me in the inbox. I'm like, wow, you were right for this show. Okay, stuff that other women, Christian women, they don't want to deal with.
Exactly.
And they don't know how.
Exactly.
And you're putting in penmanship here. We're going to this break here. Hey, Brittany, go to D, as in David. This song here, let's play that right now while I'm talking. It's called Nasty Funk. You know who wrote this one too? Pennal Johnson. He's so nasty till he funky. Yeah, he's so nasty till he funky. And this is now this here back in this reminds you of the 70s of let's see. Who do we lost a couple people in the jazz world recently. I know we lost Oscar Peterson, okay, but in the jazz soul world, it was
Louis
Duke.
Johnson.
Oh, you're gonna say Louis Johnson?
Louis Johnson,
very.
And George Duke.
Yeah, George Duke. Yeah.
Okay, that he's the Dookie stick. And
that
so
was Stanley.
Yeah, well, Stanley Clark, but straight George Duke. And so when I hear this.
I'm still surprised Dookie Stick made it on the air.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, now this is straight George.
This is funk.
Yeah, this is funk. This
From
is
the day.
I hear man, there's a couple people that I can really hear here. Bootsy Collins.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And of course the father of that funk era, James Brown, but this style takes it to another era. It's modern in a sense.
Yeah, with that little riff you just.
And I hear my favorite pianist, George Sample. Not George Sample, but Joe Sample. Okay. Now, if you listen very closely, you hear some of the influence of all these cats that I mentioned. All right, we're gonna listen to this in the break, and we'll come back with the great Pennal Johnson and Patricia Shaw. You doing it, girl?
Thank you.
Sorry about the Joe Show.
Me.
here's that nasty funk. This right here's that dirty funk. This right here's that slap that taste about your mama mouth funk. That Parliament psychedelic funk. You better have all my money, girl funk. I still got my Wednesday trials on, but it's Saturday funk. Woo, 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 woo. I still got my Wednesday trials on, but it's Saturday funk.
Show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jonathan McReynolds, and you are now listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show. It's my guy.
This is Pastor Brian Jones, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing with me. Perfect harmony, perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a home and keep it company. That's the real thing. What the world wants today.
Introducing the Kodak Instant Camera with a twist. Meet the Crank.
Can you feel a brand new day?
Imagine instant pictures with color. Color by Kodak. Just crank, 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 and in minutes you get bright, colorful, instant pictures with a textured satin luxe finish. See your photo dealer and shake hands with the Crank. The Kodak Instant Camera with a twist.
Yes, man, this has been an interesting hour and 6 minutes. We've been talking about this book here, Soul Ties, Unchain My Heart. It's been great. I've got a full room here, and this is interesting. The three worlds have come together here, myself and Sister Shaw and my brother Pennal, and you would see us, all three of us on the street, and says, y'all have nothing in common. Yeah, well, we're showing you that we do. We all had to deal with this at some point or other in our lives, whether it was with us or with a family member. And so we can kind of talk about it. And we've been listening to Pennal Johnson's project here. It's called The Sissy Strut. And if you're in the jazz world, if you musicians out there, you understand. And it is how many tracks is on this project? 8. It's about 8 tracks. Okay, now back in the day, that's all we did was about 8 to 9 tracks. Okay, and that was it.
Yeah, 10. You had to go double album.
You know what I'm saying? Because depending on the world you lived in, if it was jazz or if it was classical music, the tracks were not 3 minutes. Because in the classical world, you can have a track that was 10 minutes or more, because they went into different movements, okay?
Yep.
But it was great for those who wrote the songs because the royalties were great, because you got paid by the minute after. Well, that's Wednesday show. But if you go back and see, here's some of the classical jazz songs. Some of them were short, depending on the artist. But if you go back to bebop time, they play all night on one song.
Lionel Hampton was notorious for it.
And that LP, that one side is one song. You know what I'm saying? So Pennal did us a great justice. He took us back, gave us just about 8 songs. But man, you put in your car and you want to drive to Mississippi.
Oh,
you put this Strut project on there, and you get there. You have to rewind and play it over again, and then play it over again. But you're gonna get there. And I think you got a show tomorrow.
Yes, PJ and Soul. That's my band. We're gonna be in our first church engagement.
Wow,
our first church engagement.
Yes,
we're gonna
bring
be
funk to the church, man.
Yeah, well, funk never left church.
Oh man,
we're gonna
see, that's how I became a fan. That's how I became a fan of Larry. You know, Larry said, "If it's not funky, the spirit is not here." I was like, "Hey man, oh no."
Yeah, the church where we're having it at, the pastor, he's a jazz musician.
Okay,
Bishop Simon Gordon.
Sure.
We're going to be at Tri-Stone Baptist Church on tomorrow. It's located 1415 West 104th Street. They're having their Fun Fest and Health Festival, and I'm a part of the musical aspect of it. And actually, me and Bishop Simon Gordon, we're going to be doing one of his songs. We're going to be collaborating together because this song called "This Joy" off of his album. And the reason that this particular engagement is special to me. This is my family's church.
Okay,
you know, this is where I came from before I had joined at Salem Baptist Church, and I did my very first concert in 1996.
Wow,
there.
Oh, wow!
And
you going home.
Sure. and then to do my first performance right after a legitimate CD release, planet-wise. God has really blessed the record label, Hitman Records, based out of L.A. and Nashville, and 2 of the distributors is Universal, and Sony,
huge, absolutely.
And this happened from March of this year till today, a quick work, and my heart, I asked God for this simple thing. I want to play what I enjoy, but I want to also use that as a tool or bait to get an opportunity in the mainstream of the song where people are all like up to tell them about Jesus Christ. And the way that I do it, I tell them this is what drives me. And a lot of times, like at the show that you were at the on the West Side, The Wire.
The Wire, yeah.
I got an opportunity to talk about Christ a little bit more in depth.
Sure
It was.
And nobody was offended by it.
No, it was beautiful. It was just that it was on me that night.
Yeah.
And then some nights, like at the Cubby Bear we was at a few weeks ago, I just simply said, this is what drives me, Jesus Christ. And then, I used a scenario about how things are in our time now, killing and the stuff going overseas, ISIS and all that type of stuff. And, you just need Christ somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I do. Sometimes, like I said, it goes in depth, but it's never to hoard over somebody's head. It's just to let people know, okay, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily get into like the traditions of the black church because the traditions of the black church is sometimes different from Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and it's a wonderful thing. But I prayed first when I was in LA, when I first met this record label, I prayed, God bless me with a situation that fits me. And then I was like, I just want to have the opportunity to present Christ. And because of it I have a heart for the people that I play for. Even my band members will tell you, we talk about this all the time. If you're in it for the dollar, that's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all you're going to get.
Good.
You have to literally care for the people that's in front of you. And you can still have fun. And God had placed me strategically in an environment where there is no inkling of church. We've played at Reggie's. This is a rock club.
Right.
Death metal rock.
Yeah.
Where we played on the rock side of the building, and there's the entrance says 666 and an upside down cross right before you enter the stage. And, with my silly stuff, I just, okay, whatever. I just go on stage and do what I do. And you would be surprised, people that come to these shows, like they come to see somebody else. They'll come on the other side where we normally play it on the music joint side, paint on their face, because this is like acid rock, death metal.
Goth.
Yeah, goth. And they come dressed up and they ask about Christ.
Praise the Lord.
So some people get it, some people don't. But my thing is, if you want to really know what I'm about, just come to what I do. See what I do.
That's
and
good.
then you can understand.
Yeah. Right. And some people, again, can't handle that. A lot of the Christians, and that's their world, and that's fine. Right. Sometimes two worlds can't come together. Okay. And that's okay. I don't judge people for wanting to stay where they are, because maybe that's what God assigned them to be, okay? But a guy like Pennal Johnson, who goes out further than your traditional situation, you need to pray for him. You know what I'm saying? Pray for him and try to support him, because he's doing something that you just wasn't called to do.
That's true.
That's just not your area,
Amen.
okay? And I had the opportunity when I had my singing group. They invited me to a place. I said, okay, the place is booked. Let's go. And I went to this place, and I drove up, and I saw it, and it was a bar. This was at the early 90s. And I'm like, I can't do this. I'm thinking to myself, I can't do this. And I got all my singers there, and we like, wow, what is this? Because we only perform at churches. And I heard the Spirit say, go in there. Go in there. And I did. I walked in there, and there was all those people there. They was sipping, and they was partying on. I said, okay. I said, but I don't belong. It just seemed out of place. You know what I'm saying? And I kept hearing the Spirit say, what did I call you to do? And I put my keyboard out, and I'm like, am I at the right address? It said, you are Walter Jones, right? Yeah, well, you here. This is us. And we started, as we started to play the music, we did Kirk Franklin's Stomp.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, Kirk Franklin's Stomp. And it just hit, so it was popular. And they all, yeah, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they was like, hey, all right. And then my second song was a song of repentance.
Yeah.
And I saw all the hard liquor do this. I kid you not. And they start bowing their heads and Some was like, oh boy, wow, wow, who invited his brother? Who invited his brother? And and I'm thinking to myself, you know what, Walter, just do what you do. And when I got through, of course, Satan was like, you ain't winning nobody. This ain't affecting nobody. After it was over, it's the exact same thing that happened to him. People were coming up to me, and then let me tell you what the world does. Many people, like my atheist friends, do you not realize that over 95% of them were Christians, and they got church hurt, and they left and said there is no God. That's a big percentage, 95% of them. Okay, the ones that I talked to, and I have several hundreds. All right, the ones at the bar, they're there trying to soak their sorrows. Okay,
oh yeah,
and they go in there and they find women. They pick up women because they're trying to cover something. And we went in there. They says, "Oh my God, I need to return back to wherever I was. I need to go back to that." It was just a couple people, but that's all I needed.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I started doing the House of Blues on Sunday mornings.
Okay.
Okay. Full house. If only 5 people go backstage and say, "What must I do?"
Yes.
That was worth all of it. It was worth it.
Yes.
So we need to pray for somebody like Pennal Johnson,
yes,
who's out there winning the couple that we will never reach.
That's true.
Because they ain't coming to your church.
Right.
They're not coming. Y'all can have all the revivals you want to.
That's true.
But they ain't coming.
And that's the debate we've had on Facebook on numerous occasions. To where you saying someone like, well, if only 2 or 3 are turned around, is that not worth it?
Right.
And then you'll get the self-righteous crew.
Yeah.
Who going like, well, you can go ahead and win them 3 somewhere else or something to this effect. And I'm going like, so you making that call for someone else's salvation?
I don't play with that. This chapter here is called "The Ties That Bind." Okay, I think, did I read this as the week passed? I drove by into my studies, but he was still on my mind. See,
yeah, they're at the Lazy 8 right now.
At the Lazy 8. I called them a few times. Lazy. I called him a few times after returning to school, but eventually my stubborn side kicked in, and I never called him again. Cause she was still trying to reach out to him.
Right.
He had already torn down my self-esteem. I certainly didn't want to tear me completely down. Want him to tear me completely down. It was the Friday before Christmas break when my phone rang. Tell us what happens in this story here.
Okay, the phone rings and it's Eric.
What is
Yes. He calls to tell her that his father passed and he would like her to come to the funeral out of respect for his father.
Man. That's a player right there. The death of his dad is going to be the snare he used to bag himself. That's a player.
So he uses his father.
Yes.
And his father did die.
Right.
Okay. But it was a right.
Well, you'd be amazed, it's like you believe in life after death, yeah. But the uncle you went to see just came in.
Perfect opportunity because, in a sense, coming from a man's point of view, it's too much work to go out there and get a new girl.
True.
So let me get someone that I know is already weak to me.
Yes.
If I want to drown my sorrows in this, because like I said earlier about drowning, those at the bar was drowning their sorrows with the liquor, and a guy like Eric drowns his sorrows with women.
Yes.
Okay, and so he used his father's untimely death for this.
Yes.
Okay, and then she falls for it.
She fell for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he had gotten into her mind.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
And then came the revival.
Yes, the revival.
What happens at this revival?
At the revival, because she was born, she came from the Pentecostal background. She met the evangelist at the revival. She gave her life back to Christ and said that she would no longer fall to his temptation, to the temptation of fornication.
Wow. And there was I think there was an evangelist that came to town.
Yes.
See, you don't think I read this book. I do my homework. I don't play. Yeah. I was sitting at the barbershop said, you know what? Evelyn Wood Speeding kicked in. Remember Evelyn Wood Speeding?
I know that. That's a whole generation having a clue. I used that the other day. I'm like, who? I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And he began, the evangelist began to speak to her and ask her questions. And she was like, How dare you, in her mind, ask me these personal questions.
Yes, she did.
Oh, yeah. And again, I keep telling y'all now, that's 48 pages that I read while getting my hair cut. Okay, now, they say if you want to hide anything from a black person,
put it in the book.
You put it in the book?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's something about us, I don't know what it is, but we just don't want to read anymore.
That's true.
We find it. We'll find everything on Google, which is fine because I Google a lot of my shows. Okay, because I read articles. All right, but you go to my house, you see a library of physical page books, and even the Bible. Even though I have the apps and what have you, I love to flip them pages in my Bible.
Me too.
Yes, he
You
does
do
have
too?
a lot of books.
I do.
Now tell me why you like to flip the pages.
Because I'm old school, I guess.
Yeah,
and I have the
it's just in
apps
you.
on my iPad also,
Yeah.
but it just feels something different to me when I'm able to flip through
Absolutely.
the Bible.
And they don't even teach the kids cursive writing anymore. I was talking to a teacher, and they're like, most of my kids don't know how to cursive write. They just don't. They stopped doing. We don't write letters anymore.
That's true.
We just don't do it. And I guess I'm really old school because I'll write a letter in a minute and put it in and put a stamp on it and walk up to the mailbox. Y'all remember the mailbox?
I will type. I will type a letter.
I will handwrite
and sign
letter.
my name.
Put it there and wait a few days for a response. And like, why can't you just send an email? That's so impersonal sometimes. I want them to open it up and see my handwriting. Okay, I might even want to spray some cologne on it. You know what I'm saying? Remember back in the day? Spray some cologne.
Devil.
I haven't done that in a while, but I'm going to have to do that eventually.
Man,
I'm going to have to do that. Hint to the wise is sufficient, yeah. He's so silly. He said the devil. Okay, so the revival happened. All right, and then she began to think and make some, well, the last part of your paragraph, your chapter here says he went on to tell us how he got caught up in the game of cat and mouse. I think she was talking about the evangelist or something like that.
Yes, he was sharing his story with her to help her, but she had got offended by the questions he was asking, and she didn't want. They were at the table sitting with a group of young people from the church, and they looked up to her, and so she felt that he was getting into her business, and she didn't really want the other young people to know what she had been doing.
Wow, yeah. And typical. It's very typical, absolutely. And then you go to Eric's dramatic return.
Yes.
It's a dramatic return. Whenever I return home from school, I always went back to being a little girl my mother expected me to be. Okay, she keep remembering her mom. What is that? I mean,
influence.
The influence.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess that's telling me how important our parents' instructions.
Training. Yes.
I mean, as you read all throughout Proverbs, you hear him talk about the instructions from the mom or the father. Pennal, you come up. That's why here you are sitting in a jazz club, still having the values from your parents.
Yeah.
And sometimes your parent could have been your pastor. He could have been the father, spiritual figure in your life, because I know mine was.
Yeah, I know the Soul Ties is talking about relationships. When I talked to Walter a week ago about when he mentioned to me about what the title is going to be for today, I told him I can relate to that. Just to sidetrack a little bit, my mom died last year, and I signed the record deal on April the 7th. That's my mom's birthday. April 8th, the company sent me back the contract signed. And I dedicated this whole week to my mom. Because I know she knew that this day would come. And she always said, play your heart out, baby. You can do it. I want my Grammy. You know, so it's like the soul tie for me is that, you know, I'm thankful that all this is happening. But if it hadn't been for my mom encouraging me every day, you can do this. Buying me guitars. I made my very first bass, and because of her. And that's how the title, at least in that respect, is impacting me, especially today. I'm having different I wrote on Facebook today, I didn't know which emotion to attach myself to because I'm smiling, crying. I'm happy, I'm sad. But I know that if it wasn't for my mom, Mary Johnson, she set the foundation for me. And that's why when I do perform, it keeps me kind of balanced. I don't get caught up in, that's what it is. This is an opportunity for me. I understand that this situation is an opportunity for me to let people know about Christ. And that's how I look at it. And that's what keeps me straight.
Yes.
But I'm very thankful for the soul tie that I have with my mom, so.
Yeah.
But to get back to this, I am so impressed with this, your book.
Yes. The writing is up, isn't it?
This is my fourth
Very
book.
deep. Fourth. That's number 4. So I got some catching up to do.
Because it's like, it's real.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's biblical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's relatable to the church. It's relatable to the person that rides the metro every day to go to work, that drives to church every Sunday, that drives their kids to school every day. When they even go shopping, this is something that people can relate to, and it's the good news because you're giving a solution at the end.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what was on my mind right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got a phone call, I believe. Caller, who are you?
This is Bishop Gordon.
Bishop Gordon.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Fine. How are you?
I heard about you.
Enjoying the show.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm glad you're able to listen to it because I know we were having some technical difficulties, but thank you for calling in. What do you have to say?
Well, I just called in because I want to really support Pennal. It's a great journey. He's a great musician, great purpose, and has a great future.
Wow.
So I'm just glad that we've had these years to be in relationship with each other. I know that out of it and with it, there's some tremendous things that's coming on the way for him.
Wow. Amen. I definitely agree with that. Bishop Gordon, for my listeners, where are you from?
Tridestone Full Gospel Church in Beverly, here in Chicago.
That's right. That's right. Over there, 104th, I think it is.
What you say there?
Around 104th, right?
Yeah, 104th in Charles, right off Vincennes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pennal be playing there tomorrow around 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a drive-by. I live in the Roseland area, so, I ain't that far from you.
Right. You can live right on over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Bishop, man, thank you for calling and giving your love and support to Brother Johnson. He definitely has made his rounds in Chicago among many pastors. He's greatly loved here. And we thank you for letting him know, again, how good of a man he is.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. I'm glad to be able to say I think Pennal came to me, what was it, about 96, 97?
96.
Yeah, about 1996.
Wow.
So, and of course, his family, they do my youth choir and praise and worship me. So they still with me.
Wow.
In that particular instance, while he's yet playing all around.
Yes, sir.
They have been a great staple at Tridestone Church in Chicago.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Bishop.
All right.
We appreciate you.
Love you, Bishop.
God bless you.
Amen. Amen. That's the great Bishop Gordon, Southside, Beverly area, y'all. It's a nice area, by the way. Just do some drive-through over there on Longwood Avenue, up and down, and over there from 95th and on and on, and see some great
beautiful
property.
homes.
Yeah. He's known him since 96, I think it is, but I've known Pennal for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
I've known
Okay,
him
so
since,
who's the old man now?
Well, if I've known him for almost 30 years, that means he's just as old as me.
Yeah.
Well, you could have known him in Dappers.
This is so true. This is so true. Art the Baptist, y'all. We're going to eat, Britt. Go ahead and play that now. This is our last break of the evening. Let's play it a little short because I want to hear him get through this book so y'all can hear the finale. This here is called The Bounce. And let's see if the title. Yep. Yep. That's it. Triple it. That's it. Triple it. That's straight up temp. Yeah, it's called The Bounce. I'm just going to give you about 2 minutes of it, Brittany. and we'll come right back so we get right into the end of the whole matter, as Solomon would say. Okay? Sir Walter Jones Show.
Wonderful, wonderful cat. Whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. Felix the cat, the wonderful, wonderful cat. You laugh so much your sides will ache, your heart will go pit-a-pat. Watching Felix, the wonderful cat. Making things with making things with
Light Right, the toy that lets you create beautiful pictures with light.
Making things with
Work with colorful pegs that glow with light, light bulb not included. Make people, animals, things, and with refills, Bugs Bunny or Bozo the Clown.
Making things with
You can make lots of pretty pictures with Light Bright. From
This is Rodney East, and you're listening to Sir Walter Jones.
Hey, this is John Hanna, and you're listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show.
We're back, everybody. We're back. This is Fireside Friday. Yeah, we talk about current events and the things that's going on around the world, not just in Chicago. But I was looking at the news, and it said the federal government has issued a federal policy statement that says it is unconstitutional for cities to ban the homeless from sleeping outside on the sidewalks and on the benches. The Department of Justice says laws that ban sleeping outside constitutes cruel and unusual punishment because the homeless have nowhere to sleep. For sleep is a universal right. Ain't that something? So y'all cannot kick the homeless off the corners anymore if they're trying to get a good night rest.
Sleeping over the grates because that's the only spot where they have some heat.
They got nowhere else to go, and this is the federal government. It's unconstitutional. They have a right to sleep. Ain't that something?
Well, it is.
Finally, something moral has popped up in our country. Because where you gonna kick them off that corner, you know where they're going.
Yeah.
You know, go to the next corner, and you're not doing anything for them. I think I had a caller who called in and see who this is. Caller, who are you?
This is Sierra.
Sierra? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Rockford.
Oh, Rockford. You mean like Illinois?
Yes.
Oh, that Rockford.
Not the files, man. Not the files.
All right. Hey, what you calling for?
I was just calling to tell Miss Shaw that I follow her on Women of Excellence, and I got her book, and I just love it. She got me hooked, and she cut it off on a part that I just want to know more. I want to know what's going to happen with Eric and Teresa and the husband. I wanted to know when the next book was coming out.
See, she did the same thing to me. When I was reading it in the barber's chair, I'm sitting there like, really? You going to put me on a cliffhanger like this? Yeah, ain't that something? I think we should write our congressman or call President Obama or something, because that doesn't make any sense that she would do something like that. I think that is sacrilegious. It is heresy. It is an abomination. Anything that I can find. Yeah, yeah. And then this is a great book, isn't it? And it's an easy read, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
I've read it in a couple of hours.
See?
I was so hooked on the
I told
book.
y'all.
I didn't want to get up to do anything else.
Yep, it will get you hooked. And why do you think it got you hooked? Can you is it familiar to you?
It is familiar, especially with relationships.
Okay.
And, you try not to take things too fast, and you meet someone and they show an interest and they act like they care one day, and then the next day you find out that they have their own agenda.
That's true. Yeah, that's exactly it. And even a lot of people relate to this because of their own struggle, their own story, or they have someone in their family that or friend that they know has gone through this or going through it right now. Because really, there's so many are going through it right now. They can't tell you they're going through it.
Right.
Yeah, they can't. And I think if they read this, and I noticed I read the table of contents at the beginning of the show, and just reading the table of contents told some people, oh my gosh, that's me. I don't have to read the body of the work. I can just read the contents and tell you I can write my own chapter. You know,
right.
If so many people can do that. I like going to, sometimes I go to the bookstores and I'll just look at the table of content, and depending on what the contents say will determine if I'm going to buy the book or not. And I know some people just read the cover, look at the cover and say, you know, so you have to capture the people with both the cover and the table of contents. If you can't do those two, you're going to lose sales. Yeah, that's just a tidbit that I just gave to Shaw. I'm going to charge her for that one after the show's over. But thank you for calling all the way from Rockville, Illinois. We definitely got to get her back on the show and see what we could do with this part 2, because you know the part 2 is coming, right?
Yes, and I'm waiting for it. I will be waiting on you tomorrow, Miss Patricia, at the library, so you can sign my book.
All right. Oh, shameless plug. Yeah,
well, I will be there.
Well, this is the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Shameless plug.
Home of the shameless plug.
Home of the shameless plug. All right. Thank you for calling us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Parnell, where you going to be again since we're doing shameless plugs?
Tri-Stone. Yeah. I definitely got to get by there. So we played the Sissy Strut, we played Sound Check F, we played the Nasty Funk, and we played Bounce. If you didn't know this was a Christian show,
man, those sound like some Christian songs to me. You know what I'm saying? Good old wholesome Negro spirituals.
Yes, sir. I tell you, those who just tuned in are like, what is going on over there?
What, you thought 30 years would change me?
Yep. So y'all thought Steve Harvey had it going on. Nuh-uh. We got it all going on, and that bag of chips. So you got
barbecue.
We got Eric's dramatic return. He comes back real quick. What happens here?
Yes, he comes in to what happens here. Okay, this is the part where he tells her that his father passed, and he wants her to attend the funeral.
That's it.
With him.
That's it. Got that.
Yes.
And then we go a couple pages here. Scandal in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since I had returned to school, I was extremely excited because I was scheduled to graduate in May. I had studied so long, and I would be the first to graduate on both sides of the family tree. That was a big deal to my parents, neither of whom nor my grandparents had graduated high school. I wanted to make everyone proud, and that's what I set out to do. Now that Eric was out of my system, and I had Evangelist Hodges helping me in my walk with Christ, I felt like I could really live this life. I was learning more and more in the Word, but from a different perspective. I was truly engaged in the conversations Evangelist Hodges and I were having. It was as though he was taking me on a journey down a path I had never been on before. His conversations was much more engaging than when I attended Sunday school as a youth. I was truly learning and enjoying myself. Was I enjoying the Word or him? Either way, I was happy to be engaged in something positive, and it was helping me to clear my mind of Eric. When we did our porn show on Monday, we talked about how to, when you empty yourself of something, you have to fill that void with something.
Yes.
Something to replace it, but something more spiritual, more positive. Okay. Is this seemed like what was going on with her?
Yes, it was. That is exactly what was going on with her. At the revival, she had rededicated her life to Christ. And so he was helping her to become more spiritual, and he didn't really know how he was helping her, but he was helping her on the spiritual level. And she was using their Bible studies to help free her mind of wanting to reach out to him.
To reach out to
Eric.
To Eric. Got you. And then came, I think it's the proposal?
Yes.
And who's proposing to who?
Evangelist Hodges is proposing to Teresa.
Okay, I figured as much. I believe we call that
rebound. No.
It seemed like it because you hear so you
the
see
way she's going. Like, I don't know if it's the Word or if it's him.
Yeah, and that's fine.
If she needs
if
to,
the Word is drawing you to your new prince, by all means, let it do it.
So long as he's not evangelist scandalous, we good.
Yeah, and that's fine because we've heard stories.
Yeah, minister wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah,
we've heard stories on TV where it was the lawyer that you entrusted in to help you with your affairs. Okay, me, and let's say the wife and I are separate, and she got the lawyer. Or maybe I got the lawyer to help me in this thing, and then he wind up taking the wife. Okay, and you see these written in a lot of movies and sitcoms, what have you. And as you start reading, it seemed like this is what was going on. The one that I'm looking for spiritual help is the one I wind up falling for. So I think it's related to the beginning of how it's not always negative,
right?
When stuff like that happens, because maybe it was God who designed the evangelist, to be your knight in shining armor,
right?
Even though you went to him for spiritual help.
Yes, and the thing too, his story was sort of her story, and that's why he was able to relate or to connect with her. So soul ties aren't just physical, they're friendships as well. One thing that I did point out in the book, she always referred to him as evangelist. She did not mention his name until later, until the relationship became, they bonded on a different level. So that's also a form of respect on her part.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah,
to recognize his calling. Because that did keep a boundary there. Instead of just calling him, hey, Bob.
Right.
Yeah. And then our wedding day.
Yes.
They got married.
Yes, they did.
Blessed quietness. Holy quietness. They got married. And then deja vu in the Windy City.
Yes.
They go back to Chicago.
Yes.
What happens in Chicago?
Well, she had never been to his apartment, and she started noticing scenery as they got closer to where he lived. And there's the white hen, and she started thinking to herself, now, I know this can't be the same white hen, the store. And so as they pulled up into the community where he lived, said, "Oh my God, this is where Eric lives. Should I tell him, or what do I do? Does he even still live here?" So she didn't tell him.
Wow. And you think that was wise, right?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think it was wise?
Because they had made a commitment to each other to let the past be in the past, and they were moving on in the future together.
Yeah. And I could do a whole show on that by talking about the past to your new lover, because men are innate jealous.
Can't handle it.
Yeah, we can't. And we said something very profound on this show before. I can't remember which guest it was. It was one of our women's shows we do on Tuesdays, and we made the analogy. We came to the conclusion that, even Scripture, we've proved it in Scripture that when a man is married to a woman, when she gives her body to another man, he has so much rage in him that it's hard for him, difficult for him. That's why a lot of times you see where he'll go in the room, if he sees something like that, he'll kill somebody over it. He'll kill the guy, and he'll kill her too.
Right.
Okay. With a woman, if he cheats on her, a lot of times she'll forgive him over a period of time.
Yes.
But her question is, do you love her? Do you love her?
Right.
Because in her jealousy is, how much of your heart did you give to that woman? In his mind, how much of your body did you give to? You see what I'm saying? And that in itself is amazing how the battle of the sexes is. And I think once we understand both aspects, I think we can get along a little better.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so the deja vu happened, and now she says, "I'm not going to talk about brother Eric.
Right.
I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do it." Now some couples think I can tell. We can talk about our past and talk about it. That might be their bond, okay?
Right.
But I would not suggest that in everybody, because I don't think some men can handle.
That's true.
You know, even if it was you and I are married, but you had a high school love affair with someone that happened 20 years prior, and then you finally bring it up to me, that might affect my day.
That's true.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
And I don't think that's something. Yeah, that's something.
No,
yeah.
Why?
That's how men think.
That's how some men think. I like to know what the track record is before I venture on that particular horse, so that when they get into the third round and start to limp, I understand back, maybe 2 jockeys ago, they hit them in the ankle like they did that Nancy Kerrigan or something, Okay, so when they limp, I'm not surprised. So I don't get that gives me a insight as to why you do what it is you do. Women that I've been involved with in the past, they get a dossier on me coming in the door, cause it's like, when I act this way, you will know why. When I act that way, you will know why. These are the things that I act very bad to. So if you do, and as I moved along, that list got a little bit longer, and it came very, very direct up front. Look, if we're moving in this direction, these are the things you need to know. But I did learn not to attach a name to them. I said somebody in my past, because once you attach a name to it, they don't hear anything else beyond it.
And that's your choice. I ain't doing it. Okay, I ain't going there. The rubber band effect. What's going on here? September had come and gone, and I was married. I was a married woman living the life of a single one. My husband was on the road 5 days out of the week. Bill Cosby. I wanted for nothing and had the best of everything. Did I say Bill Cosby on the air?
Oh my goodness!
I didn't say that, did I?
Lord, I must say.
Yeah. He was an excellent provider, a great lover, but a terrible friend. Wow! I didn't know how to explain to him how thankful I was to have him in my life, but that I was feeling empty inside. What's going on here?
She is she had just graduated from college, so she didn't have anything to fulfill her days. And being that he was a traveling evangelist, he was away from home quite a bit. And so the rubber band effect, it's a term that I termed that way because there's so many women who allow men to come in and out of their life, especially when they know that he's no good for them. Yeah. And so the benefit is only on his part, and they have no benefit in it. And so this part of the book is when she finds out that Eric still does live in the building.
Wow. Why you had to go there?
Yes.
See, had she told her husband, then that male thing of making sure that his domain is taken care of would have brought him back home at least 3 more days because...
Well, you have to keep on going, though. At the end, it's a wonderful
you can
story
avoid,
about
you can avoid the hiccup.
Yeah.
The vision that God...
I need y'all to buy this book.
The vision that God gave
I need y'all to buy this
one
book.
day he saw Eric.
Where see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, Patricia Shaw, where can we find this book?
You better go home, boy. No.
You can get this book on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, anywhere online. This book can be purchased.
Yeah, Soul Ties, Unchain My Heart. 2 minutes. There's some people out there that are struggling. Yes. They're in a soul tie situation. Talk to them.
If you are in a soul tie situation, my first point of view or perception to you would be to acknowledge God. Let him know. The word says that confession is good for the soul. So once you acknowledge God and you let him know that you are struggling in this area, he will forgive you. There is no sin that God will not forgive us from. I was speaking with my husband today. Sometimes we think as people that we've done so much and we are so far from God, but he's right there, so close to you, and he is waiting to stretch his arms out to you and embrace you. God loves us. He truly loves us. There is nothing that we can do that would turn his back on us. So confess your fault to him, that sin. He will forgive you. And then after that, I would say to get with a spiritual mentor, someone that you can trust and confide in, someone that you know will not put your business on Front Street.
Wow. Wouldn't put your business on Front Street. Thank you for saying that. And that's so important. We've done too many shows about confidentiality.
Yes.
That's one of my worst, that's a pet peeve of mine. Whoever I've ever dated in life, I told them, if you can't be confident on the things I tell you, that's a deal breaker. This relationship is over forever. I just can't do it. Because a man needs to know that he can trust his words with you. Okay? And even after, if there might be a breakup. Okay? Protect me.
Yes.
Okay? Because I'm divorced. But you never hear me talk about my ex-wife on this show. All right? I don't bring her name up. I will talk about some scenarios that might have happened. All right? But even in that, I protect her.
Yes.
For those who know me and know her, I don't do it.
Yes.
Because we're still made in God's image.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And God loves us both the same.
Yes, he does.
If I start tearing up her name because of what I think she did to me, all right, that's ridiculous because she could be doing the same thing over there.
That's true.
To me. And so I had to realize God loves her like he loves me. Why would I do that? You know, and I'm pretty much slapping my... I'm stabbing myself. So no, I don't ever do that on the air. And it's important that we protect each other as saints. Pennal Johnson, man, your project is amazing. And many of the musicians out there who have never heard it before, they're definitely going to go to Spreaker.com tonight and hear it. And can you tell us where to find it? Because it drops today.
Yeah, it's out. You can go to iTunes, Google Play. And if you want a hard copy, you could come to the show on tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
At TriStone.
Yes, sir.
But other than that, you can find it at Barnes & Nobles, Best Buy, Sears, Kmart, Super Kmart, and anywhere.
Man, you everywhere.
Yeah, God.
Man.
God.
Good Lord.
You can find it like online anywhere. It's due to be in Target and Walmart in 2 weeks.
Oh. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, play F, Brittany. Yeah, this song here is called Pick Up Groove. Now, you're going to be in Rockford tomorrow?
No,
Sure.
I will be at the West Lawn Public Library
West
here
Lawn.
in town. Mm-hmm.
West Lawn.
Yes, from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
You know where that is? Do you have that address, Pastor?
Yes, it's 4020 West 63rd Street.
4020
Yes.
West.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds Pulaski. Yeah.
Yeah.
4020 West 63rd. Yeah. That sounds like Pulaski.
Oh, that's
that's a little west of Pulaski.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think Pulaski is exactly 40, I believe. I don't know.
63rd and
Yeah, catch her there at 10 o'clock, you said?
10:30.
10:30, okay? And then hang out with her over there. Let her sign a book for you. And then at 1 o'clock, go over to Tri-Stone.
Yes. 1415 West 104th Street, Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, sir. And listen to this brother play and get you a signed copy. You ain't got to wait to Monday when you get to a computer and go to Amazon. You got to wait. Just tomorrow, just hang out in the park with this brother here. This song is called Pick Up Groove, and it's grooving. We played this on the show many, many times. It's in regular rotation, actually. And I want to thank you, Sister Shaw, for coming here.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Thank you
my
for
gosh.
inviting me.
You got to get back here. Stop playing with me.
I certainly will.
My goodness. Because your next book is going to be released next
September,
month?
yes.
Yeah, September. It's called When Death Comes. Wow. When Death Comes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the part 2 of today's book. And I can't wait for it to come out. And Rockford can't wait either. You upset at the young lady who called in. You need to go and repent somewhere. You messed.
I've already confessed.
Thank you, guys. Great show. Brittany, thank you. On the board, you all right. And Art, thank you for connecting us together.
Of course, man.
Art, you all right. Art the Baptist here. Sometimes he okay. All right. You can catch him tomorrow on the D. Curtis Randall show. The sign up there on the wall, 5 o'clock p.m. Central, Chicago. Okay? Yep. All right. I would be on the show, but I got a wedding tomorrow. I forgot.
You getting married again?
Yeah, I'm getting married again to the Lord. Okay. Gotta go. Catch me on Spreaker.com tonight. The show will be up before midnight, and share with everybody you know who's going on, who's dealing with this situation with soul ties. There's good soul ties, by the way, y'all. There's some good soul ties out there. I think the best one is your soul tie with the Lord Jesus Christ. I got you on that one. Gotta go. Sir Walter Jones Show.
You've been listening to the Sir Walter Jones Radio Show, where he provides you with a biblical perspective for your everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones by visiting him online at www.sirwalterjones.com or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/AskTheElder. Stay tuned until next time with the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.